All right, let's dive in. We're talking grocery savings in 2025. Everyone wants to save money at the store, right?
Absolutely.
We've got two great sources today. The ultimate guide to saving money on groceries in 2025.
Okay.
It's very thorough. And we also have this really cool blog post from Trend This Talk.
Nice.
They're both about how to keep your grocery bill down, but, without having to eat ramen every night.
Right, exactly. It's about being smart and strategic, not just, depriving yourself.
So both sources talk about seasonal shopping,
Mm.
but the guide goes deeper into why it's so important.
Yeah, it explains the whole supply and demand thing. When fruits and veggies are in season, there's more of them, so the prices go down. And also, you're not paying for all that transportation if they're coming from, like, across the world.
Yeah, it's like when you see those blueberries in the winter.
Mm-hmm.
It makes you wonder how much of that price is just shipping costs.
Exactly.
And they both say to stock up and freeze stuff like, I love peaches,
Oh,
so I could buy a ton in the summer and have peach smoothies all winter long.
that's the idea. The guide even has a list of what freezes well. Berries are obvious, but they also say things like blanched greens. You can use them in smoothies. Or like top tomatoes for sauces. So you're basically stretching that seasonal abundance all year round.
Okay, next up is meal planning, which honestly I'm not always great at, but Trender, this talk has this tip about taking inventory.
Oh, that's so important. Before you even think about making a shopping list, go through your pantry, your fridge, your freezer. You might have stuff in there you totally forgot about.
That happens to me all the time.
I think we all do it.
It's like, oh yeah, I could totally make something with that can of beans and that half bag of rice.
Exactly.
Okay, so now we're getting into the store. What about store brands versus name brands? Are they really as good?
Both sources say to at least try them, but the guide says don't just assume they're all the same.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Like, compare the ingredients, look at the nutrition labels. Sometimes the store brand is basically the same as the name brand, just cheaper.
I used to be a total name brand snob, but I tried the store brand pasta sauce recently, and it was actually great and way cheaper.
That's awesome. It's all about being open to trying new things and not just, like, sticking with what you know.
Okay, let's talk about bulk buying. Everyone loves a good deal, right?
Of course.
Both sources are into bulk buying, especially for stuff that doesn't go bad quickly. But the guide warns against going crazy with perishable stuff.
Oh, yeah. I've definitely bought a giant container of yogurt thinking I was saving money.
And
then half of it went bad before I could eat it. Not such a good deal after all.
right. But for things like rice, beans, or even frozen fruit, bulk buying can be a lifesaver.
Especially if you have the space to store it all.
The guide even has a whole section on those warehouse stores like Costco.
Oh, yeah. Costco.
They talk about whether a membership is actually worth it, depending on how much you buy.
It's easy to get tempted by those giant packages, but you have to think about if you'll actually use it all.
Okay, so technology is playing a bigger and bigger role in grocery shopping these days. Both sources are big on using apps to save money.
Oh, for sure.
Cashback apps are huge. They both mention Ibotta.
Ibotta is popular, but the guide actually compares a bunch of different cashback apps, like which ones are best for groceries versus other stuff.
Trend. This talk likes Flip. It lets you compare prices at different stores and make your shopping list based on the best deals.
I love that. It's like having a little shopping assistant in your pocket.
So smart.
And the guide even talks about stacking rewards, like combining cashback apps with store loyalty programs and coupons.
It's like grocery savings Tetris.
Exactly.
Okay, let's move on to some shopping habits that can save you money.
Okay.
Both sources talk about shopping late in the day to get markdowns.
Oh, that's a good one. Stores want to get rid of stuff that's about to expire, so they mark it down.
Trend. This talk says the bakery and meat departments are the best places to find markdowns in the evening. And they say to freeze stuff,
Smart.
so it doesn't go bad.
Yeah, instead of letting those markdowns go to waste, you can stock up your freezer for later.
Now, both sources also suggest eating less meat. And it's not just about saving money.
Right. It's also healthier and better for the environment.
The guide has some really good vegetarian recipes, like a lentil soup and a veggie stir-fry.
Oh, nice.
And Trend This Talk suggests trying meatless Mondays. It's a good way to start, if you're not used to eating less meat.
It's all about finding ways to make it fun and enjoyable, not like you're depriving yourself.
Okay, so convenience foods are tempting, but they're also expensive.
Yeah, you're paying for the convenience, basically.
The guide has a whole chapter called DIY Your Favorites. They have recipes for things like salad kits, trail mix, granola
I love
bars.
making my own trail mix.
It's so much cheaper, and you know exactly what's going in it.
And you can customize it to your liking.
Totally. Okay, last but not least, let's talk about growing your own food. Both sources are all about it.
Oh yeah, even if you just have a little space.
Trend This Talk says to start with herbs, like basil, cilantro, mint. You can even grow them in old yogurt containers.
I love that. So simple.
And imagine how much better your food will taste with fresh herbs.
It's amazing.
Okay, before we move on, I want to emphasize something that both sources talk about.
Okay, what's that?
Being a mindful shopper.
Yes.
It's about making intentional choices, resisting impulse buys, and sticking to your budget.
And technology can help with that too. Both sources suggest using budgeting apps to track your spending.
Oh yeah, like Mint.
Right. And Trend This Talk has a good tip about shopping on a full stomach.
So you're less tempted to buy junk food.
Exactly. And they also say to use the unit price trick, to compare prices and make sure you're getting the best deal.
It's all about being informed and empowered as a shopper.
I love that.
Okay, before we wrap up, I want to mention that Trend This Talk has some great book recommendations if you want to learn more about this stuff.
Oh, cool.
They suggest Waste-Free Kitchen Handbook for reducing food waste, Eat Well, Spend Less for healthy eating on a budget, and The Art of Meal Planning for Busy Moms for, well, meal planning.
Those sound really helpful.
We'll have links to all those resources in the description below. And speaking of resources, if you're enjoying this deep dive into grocery savings,
Yeah.
don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any of our future deep dives. We've got a lot more great stuff coming up.
Awesome. I'm excited to hear more.
Me too. We'll be back soon with more tips and tricks for living your best life on a budget.
I've got a whole stack of books on my nightstand right now, actually. I love reading about this kind of stuff.
Okay, so moving on to more tips. Both sources talk about store loyalty programs.
Oh, yeah. Those can be really great. A lot of people forget about them or just don't bother.
But they can save you so much money.
Definitely. A lot of stores have free programs, and you get discounts, coupons. Sometimes you earn points for rewards. It's worth signing up.
Totally. And Trends Talk mentions looking for manager specials and clearance items.
Oh, the clearance section can be a gold mine.
Sometimes they're just tucked away in a corner. You have to really hunt for them.
But if you're flexible with your meal planning, you can find some amazing deals there.
Both sources also talk about shopping at farmers markets.
Oh, I love farmers markets.
The produce is so fresh, and it's often cheaper than the grocery store.
And you're supporting local farmers, which is great.
And it's better for the environment, too. Less transportation involved.
Totally.
Yeah.
And they also mention things like community gardens and food banks.
Oh, yeah. Those are great resources, too.
Community gardens are a fun way to get involved in your community and learn about gardening. And food banks are so important for helping people who are struggling.
It's good to know about all the different options out there.
Definitely. There's a whole network of resources available. It's just about finding what works for you.
Okay, so as we wrap up this deep dive, both sources leave us with some thought-provoking questions.
Okay, I like that.
The guide asks, if you could redesign your grocery shopping experience from scratch, what would it look like?
That's a good one.
Like, imagine if grocery shopping wasn't a chore, but actually enjoyable.
That would be amazing.
What changes would you make? Would you prioritize local and sustainable options? Would you create a system that minimizes waste?
Fun to think about, Like, how can we make grocery shopping better for everyone?
And Trend This Talk asks, what if we viewed grocery shopping not as a transaction, but as an opportunity to invest in our health, our communities, and our planet?
Wow, that's powerful.
It's about thinking beyond just getting the best deal. It's about making choices that have a positive impact.
I love that. It's about seeing grocery shopping as part of a bigger picture.
Exactly. So as you head out to do your grocery shopping, remember to shop smart, shop sustainably, and shop with a purpose.
It's like we're all in this together, trying to figure out how to eat well without breaking the bank.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And every little choice we make can add up to something bigger.
So let's keep learning and sharing those tips and tricks.
I love that. We're building a community of savvy shoppers.
And remember, saving money on groceries isn't just about pinching pennies. It's about making choices that are good for us, good for our communities, good for the planet.
It's about taking control of our food and our finances.
Absolutely. It's empowering.
So go forth and conquer those grocery aisles.
And have fun doing it.
And don't forget to check out all those resources we talked about. We'll have links in the description below.
And if you enjoyed this deep dive, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of our future episodes.
We've got lots more deep dives planned all sorts of topics that can help you live a better, more mindful life.
I can't wait.
Me too. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah.